understand her work a little bit better. Well, I'll be honest, when I first started the documentary, I didn't know much about Kahlo's work, and that was a key reason for making the film. I think everyone feels they know Kahlo because of her biography, because of her personal story and her relationships and her the struggles that she had, both physically after the accident and mentally. And so when I came to her work, at first I thought the very early works looked like they were quite naive, almost quite childlike. And I found, why is Kahlo's work so renowned across the world? And I think once you get to know her story, you get to understand her work a little bit better. So I really liked a work called Broken Column, and it's one that I found very upsetting when I look at it. It's the one where it's a self-portrait and she's got nails all down her spine. It's to sort of show the pain that she's been through with the accident, and also coping with her relationship with Diego Rivera in life. So I think the look on her face in that painting has stayed with me forever. So when I saw that painting in real life, I found that really powerful. I realised that most people have sort of lots of women especially, sort of take Kahlo to mean something for them. So she represents lots of things, from being a fashion style icon to someone who, sort of almost stands up for disabled rights and women's rights, all of that kind of stuff. I mean, she comes across in public culture, popular culture, as a really strong character. I think making this film was so precious because I got to read her diaries and letters, and she was a prolific diary and letter writer, and it exposes that she's really vulnerable. She really, really was a very fragile and vulnerable person mentally, and I think that was quite interesting. So this big, powerful icon that everybody puts on their bags and their t-shirts and things actually was someone who was quite damaged, and I think I got to know her a bit better, and that felt like a real privilege. I don't know if that's how she would have wanted to be represented, and I think sometimes that, people don't really know that woman. They buy that image of that, that portrait of her on a bag, and don't really understand much about her art, and that's why I think it was great to be able to make this film, because you get to know her through her artwork. I bet you if you stopped people in the street and showed some of them, not the portraits, I just don't think people would know that they were by her. And so you get to see so many depths, so many other sides of her as a person and as an artist and as a talent. She has really changed the sort of the face of women's art in a way. Women have been making art since time began, yet Kahlo managed to sort of arrive there on the world stage and make people sit up and take notice. So if she's done anything for women in art, then that's a great thing, but she shouldn't just be seen as a female, as a woman artist. She was an artist in her own right. I think there is a little bit in the film where it shows a headline from a newspaper that did an article on her and her work, and I think the headline was something like Diego Rivera's wife dabbles in art, and you actually look at the two of them, and now I'd say her work sells for more than his work, and maybe history has righted that imbalance. All of the art films we'd made up until that point had been about male artists. So it was high time that we made a film about a very accomplished female artist, not least to try and redress the balance, but because she's someone that's left such an impact on art history.
Cine, música, series, libros, teatro, artes plásticas, gastronomía, todo el mundo de la cultura y el entretenimiento aquí en El Tiempo. Suscríbase al canal de YouTube del Tiempo, que además es gratis, y le mandamos notificaciones de nuevos videos.